Said
We are actually live right
perfect.
there.
Love
Sorry to
it.
cut you off there, Matt, but
Good
we
to
are
go.
live. This special demo session, everybody keeps asking about driving for dollars. So we went to the sources themselves. We brought the man, the myth, the legend over there at Deal Machine, Mr. Matt Kemp. And he's going to go ahead and demo the app for us so that you guys can actually go in and see all the cool features. Now, Matt's coming back in 2 weeks on the show, and we're going to speak strategies and high level and some of the successes a lot of people are having with the different features you guys are going to see today. But
Yep.
Matt, is there anything you wanted to touch on before we jump in?
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for having me on. It's exciting to work with people like yourself, Kevin, because the everything that I'm talking about, technology is a tool to enable everything else you're doing, right? So we're not like we're not set it and forget it. We're not going to completely we use automation, but we're not going to completely take away the human element from this. Everything that I talk about today is going to give you a superpower, so that way you can generate those leads and can take action on everything else that you're teaching people, and any other content you see on your social and through your course and things like that. This is a tool to help you take action on it, but you also need that foundation and that education, and to take action by educating yourself that way too. So we're excited to kind of complement everything else you're talking about.
Appreciate it. No, yeah, you guys are the hot topic now. I mean, everybody who's getting started in real estate, they're always talking about driving for dollars. So if you're seeing this recorded, then probably the show with Matt and the Deal Machine team is probably already live. If you're seeing this live right now, then in 2 weeks, so not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, we will have Matt in here and we'll be going into how to use these things to really ramp up your business. But right now, it's about what is this app and what are the features. And Matt, whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, let me share this screen here. All right, screen share. Let me know if you can see this live here. Dashboard.
Yep, we're
perfect. Awesome. So thanks again. I mean, I think just kind of high level, the way that we've really thought through this app. We actually, our founder started driving for dollars, and we'll get into this more on the podcast next week, or down the road. But he really realized hey, we can use technology to make this process much simpler, much easier, take the thought out of following up with people, automate a lot of that, save you time. So it was born out of that driving for dollars mentality and helping people get into real estate that way. We also want to have continued to build it out and listen to our users and say, hey, how do we scale this? How do we hire our own drivers? How do we scale our business using this technology beyond just me driving for dollars? So I'll really go through kind of the three core pieces that make up Deal Machine today. We have the driving for dollars piece, which we now call Street Engine. If you hear me say Street Engine, that's what I'm referring to. We have our CRM. So that's the free piece that is an extension of that driving for dollars. And it's where your leads from driving for dollars go. So that way you have this one place to go to and see, who all you're sending mailers to, who you've talked to, like how, what ROI have you seen from all this. So the CRM is kind of the glue for a lot of this, brings it all together. And then we also have built on a list engine. So that way, we have just so much data out there that we're pulling for our street engine. We said, hey, why don't we give people access to that on a broader scale and package it up so it's very easy to access and pull your own custom list. And that way you're diversifying your lead sources, and you're driving for dollars. You're making your own original list. You're finding your own deals. And then you're combining that with a broader strategy of pulling leads according to a certain criteria and putting those two things together. And they all import into the CRM that ties it all together nicely. So that's kind of the overview, kind of the thought process behind how we've created Deal Machine broadly.
And it's evolved big time from when you guys first jumped into the scene till now. And a lot of that stuff wasn't how you first opened up into the market.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we started with the driving for dollars, just the street engine, wanted to be the best option out there for that. And then as we created that, we realized hey, there are other things that we could be helping people do that were constantly being requested of. And we really pride ourselves on the idea of listening to our customers for feedback and evolving our technology to fit what they need. So that's what the CRM was born out of. That's what this list engine was born out of. And those are two things. That was the CRM went live in July. The list engine went live in August. So it's two recent things that haven't had the chance to show it off to too many people yet. So we're excited to kind of show it today.
Cool. Let's go.
Perfect. So you can see here just the general dashboard. That's something when you log into the app, you'll be able to track. And this is a newer account for me, so you won't see too much data in here yet. But again, you'll see educational content in here, whether it be videos or webinars or combining our technology with anything you're talking about, Kevin. I think if you scroll down here, you can also see this will be a place to track your ROI around each deal. So as you start to put in more and more leads, you're going to be able to track and see, who put those leads into my software, and what tags do they fit that you've also created through the app, and what campaign are they seeing? Is this what postcards are they seeing from me? So you'll get to be more granular around that data to figure out what's working, what's not, and really tweak your strategy accordingly. But this initial dashboard is kind of the go-to place to learn and to start and to see and to track your ROI over time as you start driving. But that's the kind of the initial opening. You'll see this map is really the main place that we're what we're known for that driving for dollars piece that I talked about, and really where the company started. So when you go into this, you'll really see just a map of your area, which this is going to pull up South City, St. Louis by me. You can then see here, hey, you've got all the green properties are ones that I've added myself. So that's something that I've gone on and actually added it through the app. Every black dot is another property that you can then potentially add yourself. One pro tip here, I would say, is if you go in and click this button here, you can actually toggle the view into satellite mode. So that satellite mode will actually show you all of the houses on the screen here. So that way, if you're driving down the street and you just want to make sure you're tagging the right property with to everything, this is a good way to just validate that too. So I prefer using satellite mode myself. One other thing that will actually save you a ton of time and help you make sure that you're seeing the most qualified leads possible is this new highlights feature. So this is really powerful here, where if you click on highlights, you can say, hey, just show me all the absentee owners in my area.
Nice.
Click on that, click on apply filter, and you can see these green boxes start to pop up, which, if you're on our regular, standard view, might be even more evident actually if you take this strategy. But these green boxes here, that'll show you and say, hey, whatever specific criteria you put in, these are houses you should really take a look at because they fit every other criteria you put in. Maybe you said like absentee owner, hasn't sold in 10 years, is worth less than 200K. Like, you can get very granular, and it'll show you like, hey, here's the stuff that fits that specific criteria. So,
nice.
As you're driving around, that's something I highly recommend, taking advantage of.
And those are the house numbers there on them, right? Per property?
Yeah. So when you click on each individual property too, these are the address numbers, like you said, but then each individual property, when you click on that, you scroll down, you can see, okay, this is absentee owner. That's why it's highlighted right there. Actual mailing address is right here. All the data that we have around, sale price and equity and anything like that will pop up right there. You can actually go to, if you click on a particular property here and see it's owner occupied, through this feature, you'll be able to add the lead. And that's the CRM I'm talking about. That's the feature that says, hey, I want to add this lead to that CRM so that way I'm going to follow up with this person. I'm going to potentially get in touch with them. That's where you do that. You can do it right through the app. What we highly recommend as well is this camera feature. So whenever you do, especially when you're on mobile and getting in the habit of driving around and you're on the app, you've got your camera in your hand already, take a picture of that property. And we highly, highly recommend that just because, one, it'll automatically import that picture onto any direct mail you send that person. So, if you take that picture of a property, it'll automatically import onto a postcard. When you send that postcard to the person, it'll, depending upon the template that you choose through our software, it'll feature that property within as a picture on that postcard. So that way you can show them and say, hey, I'm not just spamming your house. I drove by your house. I can see the condition it's in. Here's your actual property. I'm not wasting your time. And those people, especially if they're absentee owner, they may not even know the condition of their house. Like they may not have been there for quite a while, and it might be a shock to them that way too, and say, "Wow, I didn't realize that it needs that much help." So that specific strategy gets a way higher response rate, way higher ROI just from customizing your outreach that way.
Yeah, definitely.
So you go through here, if you can actually through the app skip trace as well. So that is one button you click here. It'll take a few seconds, but any data we have around their phone number, around their email address, that'll be queried and show up right here, where you can see, yeah, you've got 2 mobile numbers right here that come up under that particular contact. So if you prefer to cold call and just do that on the spot while you're on the street, you can do that right there. A skip trace, if you're paying for our Street Engine particular product, it's only 17 cents per skip trace, which we've seen stuff out there get up to 50 cents plus. So we really focused on driving down that cost for our users. And that's one method we recommend, is you've got the cold call there. Otherwise, if you want to really do a specific automated campaign, I would say scroll down and use our mailers. So this mailer feature is really, that's the thing that we built out first, like Deal Machine was initially known for before anything else, was how do we help you send direct mailers? And that's where I was saying, like, depending upon the template, if you take a picture of the property, that'll import directly into the mail right there, which we'll go through our mailer customization features here in a bit. But you can just simply from here, click one button to start actually sending mailers to that person. And depending upon the campaign that you have them on, you can get very custom to what mailers they receive, how often they're going to get that. So maybe it's 3 or 4 postcards spread out by 30 days in between. So send this one, then send this one, send this one. You can automate that entire process directly in the app and customize it according to, if it's an absentee owner, then say like, hey, maybe within your language, you say, hey, I know this is absentee owner, or I know that you're not at this property, or, you can get specific on customizing your campaign to fit that particular property owner.
Because when I hit start my mailers, it'll ask me to pick which campaign to add them to.
Yeah, so you actually, on outreach campaign right here, you can go go through your options and actually pick out what template do you want to use right here. How often do you want to repeat? This is on every 21 days it sends it. You can say how long do you want it to repeat. You can turn that off and say, hey, I want a max of a certain number of mailers. So you can customize all that right from the app for every individual property that you send mail to.
Nice. So potentially you can have 4 to 5 different campaign ideas. Yeah. And depending on which category that house falls into, if it's an ugly house, boom. If it's a construction, middle of a build, boom. You can select whatever campaign you kind of customize to that.
Exactly. Yeah. And really, I think a lot of these mailers as well, this is something that you want to, continually test and A/B test them and try out different things, and whether it be different timing or different types of postcards, different templates, just see what works. And, remember, keep referring to that dashboard to find and continually optimize the best campaign, by trial and error. So.
Perfect.
Cool. Perfect. Now, I think, just another pro tip, a lot of our users, they can either cold call on the spot, like I said, or, a lot of people, if they're out driving themselves, they may or may not actually hit mailer on the spot. You can, but in order to save the most time possible, maybe think about blocking your time. So, one time block would be, hey, I'm going to spend an hour or two just driving and adding as many deals that fit when I see the house as possible. Then spend another half hour afterwards and say, okay, now I'm going to go in my CRM, look at every deal that I did, and then pick the specific campaign for each of those deals. So that way you're not switching back and forth between tasks too often. It's usually a pretty big time saver.
Yeah.
So I do think, this kind of reinforces why driving for dollars is so powerful as well. Like, yes, the list engine piece that I'm going to go over is a great database to do this at scale, but a lot of that data, and really like any list pulling software out there, that's going to be more competitive data. Like that's something that other people have access to if they pay for it, right? Whereas your driving for dollars list, that's something that you verified those deals yourself. You've been driving around, you see that house has, the paint's peeling, or the roof has a hole in it, or, whatever's wrong with it. You verified on yourself and say, hey, this is the worst looking house on this block. This is something that's a big opportunity. Like you qualified that lead, and it's something that, you have built this original list yourself. So, kind of trying to reiterate, like, yeah, you want to diversify your lead sources, like do the driving for dollars, do the list pulling, do them in tandem. But the driving for dollars piece, that's why, even though it takes some extra time, why it's so worth it is because you can find these deals that no one else has access to.
No, I love it. And you could do it while sitting in the car right in front of the house.
Yeah. We have a virtual driving for dollars piece that you can technically do it right from your couch if you really want to. That's on our Pro plan. So it's a Chrome extension that you can literally be on your couch and use Google Maps. So you'll have to verify on the map when that picture was taken, right? You want to make sure it's still relevant, but you can technically be doing it from your couch as well. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of our high level basics on the map itself. On our Pro plan, you can actually route track yourself as well. So if you hit track route on the map, you'll see different color lines come up, basically showing you where you've been and help you kind of optimize your driving each time you go out there. It's especially useful if you hire a driving team. So I can go over that really quick here. This is kind of the next level up of if you're wanting to outsource more, to really use your time best. And I always recommend getting out there and driving yourself and getting used to it yourself first. But once you've done that and you say, hey, I want somebody else to help do this for me, and maybe outsource that and hire somebody else, this driving feature, you can go through and actually recruit and hire drivers through our app as well. So when you go through here, if you actually recruit the driver, you can see you can create a custom link. So, you can say, Kevin, save that. And then when you share out dealmachine.com/team/Kevin, it auto populates that landing page with videos that we've created. So it'll show and say, hey, here's why you should drive for dollars, and here's why Kevin wants to hire you. Like, or here's why, this driver wants, or why this, this user wants to hire you. So it's an automatically created landing page with video content that you can then share with, everything from, like, we'd recommend you can go on Indeed to find people if you really want to get serious and like really hire somebody for quite a few hours a week. You can share it on your Facebook, and maybe you have a college student that is a friend's kid, or whoever it is. You don't really know your personal connections necessarily on who would be open to some side hustle income like this. Especially, I see a lot of like Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, people who are already out and driving all the time, using this app and using it as a way to multitask and be able to, in between rides, start adding deals for you too. So look for people like that, or DoorDash drivers, or, whoever's out already driving, try to pitch them the idea of like, hey, here's another side income that you can make in tandem with what you're already doing.
I love it. And you're telling me the landing page that pitches that whole idea is already done for you?
Yeah, so this automatically generates that. So if you see save options here, let's see if we can, I'm not sure if it comes up this quickly, but I can try. Let's see here.
To me, so obviously, that's a great point, because I know what it takes to build landing pages every single time you have a campaign or an idea.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to send out, oh, here we go, set page live. Got to do that first. So this will actually go and automatically take you to that landing page, like you said, of different data or different videos and different trainings and whatnot to actually recruit those drivers. So we're not a service. It doesn't go live that quickly, unfortunately. well, I'll have to send out screenshots afterwards, but we're not a service to actually recruit it for you or anything, but this tech, we want to give you the technology to make it easy for you to go and recruit, and for you to automatically populate it with a greeting video. Automatically, you can customize the particular text on that page. You can go through and put in your contact information. So we just want to make it very easy this is mostly for people who are really going to scale their drivers. So if they are looking at our enterprise plan and they've driven themselves and they're like, hey, I really want to get serious about hiring a bunch of people to find more deals for me, this is where you go to do that, is to start recruiting and start tracking their routes, where every individual driver that you put in here, you'll be able to click on them and see where they've driven, and see what the route is on the particular map, and see even analytics around, like, hey, here's how long they drove, here's how many deals they've added down the line, here's how many deals turned into actual contracts and sold, and houses bought for you. Like, you can see the full analytics unfold to understand how to manage those drivers and which drivers are performing and which aren't.
And the data, for example, once we're talking long term, let's say I'm your driver, so you'll see my info there, but I haven't driven that neighborhood, even though you see my route, let's say, in over a year. Will that data be there, so that maybe you say, well, you know what, it's been a year, let's reroute this again?
Yep. So they actually, the different colors of the route tracking on the map, I believe it goes green to yellow to red, and that changes every 6 months. So that way, oh, it's been a year since I've driven this route, I might as well go back out and do it again, or might have different opportunities. So we color coded it for that exact reason. Good point.
Perfect.
Great. And then again, you can go back to this overall, the analytics dashboard, to see, who is the property added by, and that will give you all of your drivers to drop down and see, track that ROI. So perfect. So that's kind of the overview on the maps, the driving, like thinking through the driving for dollars strategy. Where that ties into would be that CRM we talked about, at the beginning here. So I want to quickly show that. We wanted to make this as simple and as intuitive as possible. And it's actually a free feature for us. So this CRM, you can sign up. I know we have, Kevin, do we have a specific promo code that people can use through you as well, correct?
Yeah. So it's shut IMV. So at dealmachine.com/shut IMV, shut up and invest, basically abbreviated.
Yeah, and that promo code, that'll give you a 7-day free trial, and then also 15 deal credits as well. So that way, when you're going through your CRM, even if you're using the free CRM, you can go through and actually, start sending mailers and start skip tracing and doing the things that would cost extra money, because you have $15 to spend towards that stuff. So make sure if you sign up, do it through Kevin, so that way you get those extra credits, versus just going to the site. But I know on here, when you actually see each individual property, you can again click on the lead. If you've put a picture in there, it'll show up there. You'll have all of the skip tracing, all of that. This activity section, we recommend this. So if you said, hey, call them today, you can use this to be able to track your different activities. And it's especially important if you have a team of people doing this, so that way you know who's doing what. But going through this free CRM, you can actually go through and import your own list. So if you have up to 50,000 contacts, if you have just their property address, just the actual home address, just throw that in here, whether it be, you could do one at a time or all, bulk, however many you have. And we'll auto-populate the rest of the data that we have in here automatically. So that's one thing we just wanted to give value to people right away and say, hey, at the very least, hopefully you can take advantage of our data, use this, and then, hopefully see like, oh yeah, I should be driving, I should be doing these other things. You can easily skip trace from right here. You can easily start mailers from right here when you click on a property and go down and hit the start mail button. So we want to just make this one very simple, easy place to use that you can remember to easily follow up with people. You can even use tags to help you with that as well. So the tags feature, you can go in and whether it's tag the property to different things that you noticed on there, or create your own custom tags. Like, maybe you said cold call, So, create that tag and say, yeah, I want to make sure that anytime I cold call somebody, I tag them that, so that way I know, yeah, I've cold called them before. So, it's an easy way to make sure you track your activity. You really see, what you're doing there, and not let any leads fall through the cracks.
That's awesome. Even if you're working with your own CRM, this seems valuable because you can kind of filter and then pull the hot leads from there and pull them into your CRM and let the follow-up process you might have already take over.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great if you want to sync it with your marketing like that. If you want to sync it with easily cold calling and getting skip trace data, easily emailing, easily sending direct mail through our mailers. Like, that's when you want to use this CRM, is to really take action on the data that you have. And then also you can import and export leads directly from here too. So, if you ever need to transition, into or out of Deal Machine with this data, we make it really easy for you to do that too.
That's perfect.
Cool. And then, that's, so cover the driving for dollars, cover the CRM. I want to get into the list engine here. So this is our newest feature that we actually have gone through and tried to, like I said, help you take advantage of the data that we have as best as possible. If you go in here, you can actually hit build list, and then, any zip code you want. So I'll just, I'll go in and actually enter, my area. Say, okay, perfect. Show me all absentee owner properties. That then, you can go as high level as a big list like that, as specific as, okay, absentee properties that haven't sold in 10 years. It's been at least 10 years. You'll see that, now we're down to 610 leads already. All right, let's get more specific and say, I want the value of those houses to be, maximum 200K. Perfect, 454 leads. So you can get very, very specific with this data. Cover as big of an area as, city or zip code. You can even go in and actually draw according to this data. So let's say, I want to pop in here, draw around St. Louis. Here we go. We can start drawing here. So you can click through that, complete drawing. And now you can get really specific on, okay, here's this particular area and show me all the vacant properties in here. Okay, 128 leads fit all of that data or all that criteria I have in. So you can do this at scale to build a list that you then go through and can actually do a couple of things with it that in terms of pro tips to get the most value out of this. One thing I would say is really looking at the smart list feature. So turning that on, that means that anytime there's another, vacant property in this particular area that fits that criteria, we update it once a week. It'll automatically add or take away a property according to if it fits that criteria or not. So, that's again another one of those features that we want to save you as much time as possible, not make it manual. It's a dynamic list that evolves over time. And then let's say, hey, I want to sync my marketing to this list. If you turn that on, that means that whenever somebody either drops off the list or is added to the list, you can automatically start sending them mailers and customize the campaign to say, okay, we know this is a vacant homeowner in this area. Let's create a campaign that gets very specific, speaking to those people, and build a list around that. So if I was going to say, I can show you kind of here, once you create that list, which I know our basic plan, you can do one list at a time. Our pro plan, you can do two. And our enterprise plan, you can do as many lists as you want. But when you go through that, you can show the breakdown actually of this list and say, okay, here's how many lists here's how many leads I have in my CRM currently that fit this list. How many of them are getting mailers and have been gone? Oh, how many of them are getting mailers, with marketing? How many of them have we completed a mail campaign to? How many of them become a won deal or a lost deal? So it kind of breaks down there for you and shows you, how is this list performing? How are we doing overall according to, this list versus other lists that we're creating.
This is awesome. Now, I'm curious, if I have a campaign that features the picture of the house, and this smart list selects a new vacant house that recently popped into that area that we have selected, I would still have to find the picture of the house and add it to that particular contact.
So good question. And actually, by default, it'll pull the Google Map picture of the house. So, that you're relying on Google, obviously, to know if that's the most updated version of the house. But that's, again, we want to make it pop for them. So we want to at least get their house on that particular template. And that way you have the best chance possible for them to respond. But, if you want the very specific picture of that house, then, yeah, you're going to have to do the driving for dollars strategy and take a picture to put it in there, too.
Yeah,
So,
no, but this right here is automation that can start hitting some serious numbers and scale. I love it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, and I'll walk you through the last big piece that we have here is really talking about those direct mail campaigns. So, if you go in here, there's really three particular levels that we talk about when it comes to direct mail. There's templates, so that's the postcard overall, the full template. There are campaigns, so that is, how often am I sending a template and the automation behind that. And then there's signatures, so what's the signature from you, what's your picture on it, that type of thing. So if you go here on templates, you can see, it comes with 10 automatically custom templates, and then you can create your own as well, or 10 set templates, and then you can create your own custom from there as well. One that we see a really good response from is this sample full template. So here's an example of what that could look like. Is you come in here, let's see, go back one here. You can see the particular picture for that right here. So you can actually, that picture right there is the one that you took, and it populates the entire postcard. So that usually really pops pretty well. And I recommend that one if people are just getting started. But I know going into the templates themselves, like we said, we give you 10 to start off with, but you can come in and make custom ones. So that way, if you know that you're targeting a vacant homeowner, you can say, is this your vacant property? Or, we always recommend within all of this communication to be just very honest and real with people and say, hey, I'm a local investor. I help people in our neighborhood. I live down the street. If that's true, I put in, I put in the effort just so people know it's not blanket spam. Here's your actual property. Being able to kind of show that you can solve their problem and be very upfront and honest with them. We always highly recommend, taking that route goes over, well, and you show that you're a person behind all of this.
Right.
I think, with those templates in mind, really quick, jumping into signatures, actually, the signatures as well, that's an area that you have a really good opportunity to show that you're a person behind this too. So going in and being able to actually, put in a picture of you and your family, or of you and a pet, just show that you're relatable and a person behind it, that type of stuff gets a much higher response rate versus just, a general company logo or something.
Right.
Going in our basic and pro level, you get one custom signature. Our enterprise level, you get unlimited signatures too. So you can kind of mix and match and, according to the campaign, and test what's working.
That's huge right there. That's huge. I like that. I like the fact that you can change signatures too, because sometimes there is a method to the madness to sign off in a different way. Sometimes you need female, sometimes you need male, sometimes you need family, or sometimes if none of that works, you may want to try the last resort and give it a corporate image.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still, it automatically imports that, so that's still okay to have. And I just remembered on our web version, the signatures, you have to go back to the dashboard here. So, good user testing on the spot. But I know the overall idea behind it is try to showcase that you're a real person. Try to show hey, maybe even be honest and say I'm a new investor, or you can get as specific as that. Anything that is real and honest with them goes much further away. And then the final bit here, so campaigns, this is something where you can actually go through, create a custom campaign that says, hey, I want to show, this particular mailer first, and then, repeat that step or add another mailer. You can mix and match actually we give the option for ballpoint letters. So we go through a service that helps you, essentially be a ballpoint written pen letter that it's more expensive than a mailer might be, but we definitely recommend putting that in and mixing that into these campaigns just because the response rate on those are really, really great too. So if you have the opportunity, like maybe start with that and then follow up with some other mailers in addition to that to really get their attention. But on these campaigns, that's where you're going to be able to really customize and say, okay, I want to create a campaign for vacant owners, a campaign for pre-foreclosures, a campaign for each individual type of property, and then fit your templates to speak to that particular owner as effectively as possible. So,
and within a campaign, like let's say you do 3 touches with the real, family signature and message and ballpoint, and if they don't respond to those 3, then you want to send one that's a corporate image to see if maybe they feel better responding to a corporate image. Can that all be done in one campaign, or do you have to create a separate campaign for like the corporate image vibe?
So it depends on if you're on the right plan and you have multiple signatures, then you can do that through our enterprise plan, and that'll help you mix and match the signatures. Outside of that, our basic and pro options are the one signature. But yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend if you're at that level, if you're on the enterprise plan, like definitely mix and match and see what people are responding to, and hopefully you'll start to identify some trends there of what mailers and what campaigns are working in one better than others. So I believe I think that's pretty much the full run through here right now. You've got, like I said, analytics to tie it all together. You've got the free CRM, and then you can upgrade to the street engine and drive for dollars, and then the list engine to pull things at scale and make sure you sync your mail campaigns or skip trace and cold call to take a specific marketing tactic and start to generate deals that way.
That's crazy. We got people responding here asking if there's going to be a replay of this demo. This demo is going to be in the virtual real estate free course that you guys can find in the Shut Up and Invest website. We'll also have it on our social medias. We will have the promo link that Matt decided to grace all our people with that has the hookup. It's a 7-day free trial plus 15 credits to start your skip tracing and start these campaigns and really get a deal going. So you will be able to find this demo and also the link and resources that Matt broke down. Matt, we appreciate your time. That was awesome. I think so many of us talk about the strategies, and we'll get into a lot of the high level stuff in next week, but being able to actually see the features broken down, that's really why I wanted to have this demo done, because it just makes kind of the whole thing real, and it shows how easy it is for someone to just get started right away.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we're trying to preach to people and say, hey, even myself, like I was reading Bigger Pockets forever and listening to podcasts and just consuming information, but you're never going to build momentum until you take action. So hopefully, especially with like a free trial and all of that, hopefully that at least helps you take the next step, start to get out there, start driving down the street and finding deals. And when you start to talk to people and see the response and things, it really builds on itself and gets you excited to do more.
I love it. 100%. You guys, a lot of heavy hitters are using Deal Machine. Deal Machine is probably the front runners in technology overall when it comes to innovating and understanding. And what I like about you guys is that you're out there doing it yourself too. It's not just, hey, we're a tech company that decided to move into the space of real estate. No, you guys were investors that decided to go ahead and birth this beautiful technology application that solves a lot of our headaches.
Yeah, that's what the first version was, just David trying to scratch his own itch. So yeah, it's been exciting to see the response and really be able to see people the case studies that have come from this and how it's helped people find deals like that and truly bring value to their business is very fulfilling. So I enjoy it.
Perfect, Matt. I put the link where you guys can get right here in the video. You'll also find it in the descriptions. You should find it right below the video in the course. Tune in next week at 1:00 on Wednesday when we have Deal Machine and Matt on the podcast and really getting into how you take every feature that you just saw and put it in your business. We're going to talk about the deals that are closing, some of the crazy stories, and obviously you're going to be able to learn from within the organization how these guys are rocking and rolling. So make sure you tune in. Matt, I appreciate your time, my friend. And
Thanks
we'll
again
get
for having me.
next week. It's our pleasure. Thank you so
Looking
much.
forward to it.